Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In case you're new here, my name is Sharon. I create content around my passion for the science of beauty and wellness, so make sure you check out my website. I leave a link in the description box down below so you can get all the posts, all the new content I create straight to your mailbox. Today's video is all about onion juice, which I've been using since March of this year. So I've used it for almost 5 months now, and I promised you an update. If you're following me on Instagram, you know that. So in case you aren't, make sure to follow me over there as well. First things first, why use onion juice? What are the benefits? Now, onion juice or just onions are something that have been used in Ayurveda for a really long time, and this is because one aspect of the onions, or one key ingredient in onions, is sulfur. Now, I've sung praises about sulfur in the fungal acne how to get rid of it video, so you can check it out to see what sulfur is good for when it comes to skincare. And you'll find that scalp care and skincare are not different because your scalp is skin. So sulfur is antimicrobial, which means that it's going to fight against infections, both bacterial and fungal, and dandruff is one of the most annoying fungal infections, and onion juice can be really beneficial for that. So when you fight off infections, then you can encourage healthy hair growth. So that's one major aspect of why sulfur is really great. Sulfur is also an important component of keratin. Keratin is the main protein in hair, so really it is an important structural component of your hair, and that can be beneficial for hair growth as well. Another benefit of sulfur is it stimulates circulation, blood circulation. So when you stimulate circulation, that means more nutrients are going into your hair, and that can also encourage hair growth. So sulfur alone as a component of onions is like insanely beneficial. Another really important thing about onions is they have some antioxidant properties. When you talk about antioxidant, that just means that it prevents oxidative stress on your hair, and oxidation can cause a lot of damage. And so when you're fighting against oxidative stress, then you can encourage hair growth. Another benefit of onions is they can help with preventing premature graying, and that's because onions contain an enzyme called catalase that neutralizes hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is the cause for discoloration of the hair, and so by neutralizing it, they can help to keep your hair looking darker. And this is a benefit that some people have experienced with onion juice. So you can use it in 3 different ways, at least the ones that I know of. The first is as a filtrate, and that's now what people refer to when they talk about how they use onion juice in the hair. So where you boil the onions and then you sieve out the onions and use the filtrate on your hair and your scalp. So that's one way, as a filtrate. Another way is to use it as a paste, and that's if you opt to blend the onions and then apply them to your scalp and your hair. And then the third way is to use it as an essential oil. So you can actually find onion essential oil online, and this is quite helpful because you can just add it into multiple products. You can add it into your shampoo, you can add it into your conditioners or your leave-ins or the oil that you use on your scalp, and that's another way to introduce onions into your hair care routine. Now, how I personally used onion juice is I followed the Greenbeauty recipe. She's actually where I got a lot of the information from, and I leave a link to her video in the description box down below. And so she uses, I think, some onions, garlic, and cayenne pepper. So that was the base that I worked with. So generally I'll use about 2 white onions and then 4 to 5 garlic cloves, and then 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And really onion juice is so easy to prepare. All it takes is boiling your onion juice and your onions and your garlic and letting it sit, adding your cayenne pepper, and then sieving them out after you've boiled. And then I add a couple of drops of an essential oil, because onion juice really smells bad and you want to neutralize that scent because it can really linger for a long time. So I'll just add 4 to 5 drops sometimes more of the oil, essential oil, just to make sure that I've gotten rid of the scent, and then put it in my applicator bottle, and I'm ready to use it. So I personally prefer to use it prior to shampooing my hair. Actually, I think that's just the best way to use it. So I will apply it to my scalp and to the length of my hair and let it sit for at least 2 hours, and then I'll go ahead and rinse, shampoo, and deep condition as usual. And so I've basically been doing that for the past 5 months, and I mean, I don't shampoo my hair too often, maybe every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks. So I've used it maybe 9 to 10 times now, and I've had no issues with it at all. I personally don't batch prep it. I know some people like to batch prep their DIY stuff, but I prefer to just make it fresh. Don't have any preservatives, and so the longest I've kept it in the fridge is maybe 5 or 6 days, and then used it up. So the water I use, I never use more than, I think, a cup full. Like 250 ml of water is just enough for one preparation of the recipe. Now let's talk about the benefits that I've experienced personally. Now, the main reason why I started using onion juice is I mentioned back in February in one of my posts that my scalp had been flaking and itchy and just dry. So I was hoping that onion juice would make a difference. And that's one of the things that I noticed from the very first use. And it's the same for my mom and my sister. They said that it makes such a huge difference on the scalp, whether it's dry, flaky, itchy. From one use, we noticed a huge difference. So if you're someone who's looking for something to help out with a dry, flaky, itchy scalp, I think you should give onions a shot, because that antimicrobial aspect of it really came through. So that, I would say, is the biggest difference I've noticed with using onion juice. Something else that I think, it may be anecdotal and maybe it's just in my head, but I do think that my edges are looking a bit fuller. I didn't really have any issues with them. I do have a video on how I was trying to get my edges to stop thinning. I link that above. And so generally my edges have been fine, but I do think that they're looking healthier in a way. So that could be due to the onion juice, or just in general compared to earlier on in my hair journey. I've just not been wearing a lot of heavy extensions for an extended period of time. I've mostly been having my hair styled on its own. So like you can see, I've just put twists in. So again, it could just be that my hair is doing its thing. I don't want to credit it all to the onion juice. The third thing, and this is not something I've noticed on Fluffy, but my sister swears that her hair is looking darker since we started using the onion juice. And I can see it too, because her hair tends to be closer to brown, like maybe a 1B, or no, I think my hair is more 1B, but maybe like her hair is like color number 2 in terms of braid extensions, and her hair is looking a bit darker. So again, maybe we've been indoors for too long and we're going crazy, but I think her hair has gotten darker over time from using the onion juice. So those are like the 3 main things that I've noticed. I'll be honest, I don't think that onion juice has made my hair grow drastically longer. I've not seen any difference in terms of just the average length retention in my hair. And I know many people swear that onion juice makes their hair grow faster. I can't speak for them, but I know for me, that's not what I have noticed from using onion juice. And if I have retained any length, it's just the average length that I would have retained with or without onion juice. Now, the potential cons or disadvantages of onion juice that I'd want to give you guys a heads up on is, first, onion juice can potentially irritate the scalp. So if you have a sensitive scalp, you might want to play around with the proportions. Don't be afraid to dilute it even further, and always make sure to patch test it before you use it all over your scalp. So before I started using it, I did patch test it behind my ear and let it sit. I do experience a tingling sensation with the onion juice on my scalp, but it's not irritating. So that's perfectly fine for me. So just make sure you patch test. Feel free to dilute even more, and if your scalp reacts badly to it, just avoid it, because again, you might be allergic to sulfur or to some component of it, so you might want to avoid it altogether. The second thing that people will always complain about is the smell. Like, the smell can be really, really, really bad. And I mean, everyone knows how onion smells. So when you boil it or blend it, it's just so potent. And so you must get a great essential oil, whichever essential oil you own that smells really nice. So your orange, your lemongrass, your peppermint. I have this essential oil from my mom. I don't even know what's in it, but all I know is that it really dilutes the scent of onion juice, and I have no onion juice smell lingering after my wash day. So make sure that you do use an essential oil. If you just go in with your onion juice, good luck to you, and leave me out of it, because I warned you. Now, another reason why people might not use onion juice is because some people find DIY a hassle. I'm not a big fan of DIY, and this has somehow worked out for me. So it doesn't take too much time. Like, it's just boiling, sitting with it as you do other things during the 2 hours. So I think if you're not into DIY, you might not want to use it, or you might opt to use the essential oil, because then all you need to do is just add 3 to 4 drops in your product and go about your business. Yeah. The last con is not the onion juice fault, actually. It's the cayenne pepper. So the first time I used it, I think I used maybe half a teaspoon of it, and then I noticed, like, as it dripped down, it really irritated my face. Like, my face would go red because it's pepper. So again, you might want to leave cayenne pepper out of your recipe. It definitely has its benefits, but it can be quite irritating. So I brought it down from half a teaspoon to quarter of a teaspoon. Like, I use such a tiny amount of it. That's number one. And then when I am applying my onion juice, I do go in with protective layer of Vaseline or the CeraVe ointment, just to prevent any potential irritation from the cayenne pepper on my face and just on my skin in general. Yes, definitely. Like, I would suggest, again, take into account the precautions, the patch testing, the tweaking the recipe to your personal routine and to figure out how it would work for you. But it's definitely worth giving a shot. I'm really, really glad I introduced it to my routine, because it's made a huge, huge difference on my scalp, and I will definitely continue to use it. So I'd love to hear from you if you do use onions in your hair routine in any way. How do you use it? How often? How are you liking it? I remember asking some people and they had a bad experience with it, so feel free to share it down below and let's just keep chatting about it. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it beneficial. Always remember that your hair is your crown and your body is a temple. Embrace it, love it, and take care of it. God bless you all. Bye.